Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
All right, welcome everyone. The Intuitive Hour is upon us. I'm so excited you're here with me again today for another episode of metaphysical, spiritual, intuitive, psychic development and learning. All right, we're talking today about jewelry cleansing, cleaning out tangible items that hold past energy. Yes, they do. They really do. This episode was actually inspired by a student. Gina, thank you so much. She is going through one of my psychic development programs at the moment, and this topic came up in our weekly learning. Interestingly enough, also just yesterday in a client session, the topic came up around energies in furniture. Couches, desks, pianos, beds. Furniture does indeed also hold energy. Anything tangible can hold energy. So I'm really excited to bring this topic forward today. And so without further ado, let's begin. All right, cleaning your jewelry. In a physical sense, actually cleaning it, taking it to the jeweler to clean or dropping it in a solution to clean it, of course, is an important process of taking care of these special pieces, our beloved jewelries that we've paid for, have been given to us. Of course, that's important and matters. However, we often forget that wearing jewelry on your skin for a fair amount of time potentially charges the metal or the gemstone with different kinds of energies. Energies from you, energies from others around you, and energies from past people who have owned these items. This can be positive, but also not so positive. So naturally, we want to release and let go of lingering negative energies that are no longer serving you and or this jewelry that you have. So how do we remove these potential low energies? Well, we've got a number of steps here, and most certainly my process that I'm going to share with you about how to release low energies from jewelry that's been given to us or that's lingering. First of all, though, I want to get to some other real important aspects of this topic. First and foremost, many of you understand the importance of energy balance and keeping your spiritual self in alignment. You're listening into the Intuitive Hour for various reasons, but many of you have expressed an intention or desire, or even asked the question about cleansing your soul, keeping your energy body clear and clean and grounded. Well, you do this because you want to be on the right track towards living your best life, having a healthy energy body within and without. So in the same way that we keep our soul self, our auras and chakras grounded, clear, balanced, and rid of low energies, we also do this for our jewelry, which can get misaligned as well. So it really just makes perfect sense. Jewelry is made of gorgeous metals and stones and other materials which naturally are very positive. But they too have their own kind of aura and chakra. So a person wearing the jewelry and having not cleansed it can take on intense emotion, even pain, or energies as the metal and stone absorbs and holds on to pain of previous owners. All right, so here's the rub and where the issue lay in energy cleansing of previously owned jewelry. So when you purchase already worn jewelry, yes, it sure can come with lingering energies, but this is not always the case. So I don't want you to hear this episode and feel like you have to go clean all your old jewelry. You don't. And here's why. Your pure, positive, new energy to that jewelry, even though it's been previously worn, has great positive flow. And in most cases, is just naturally much stronger than any old lingering energies. And that will be sufficient. So it's not necessary to cleanse every piece of new jewelry. Definitely give honor and credence to the power of the natural transfer and transition to a new owner whose new energy naturally supersedes and takes over. That said, jewelry that you either have a sense holds a low energy or perhaps came from someone you know, like a family member or friend who had some bit of dysfunction in their life or some issues that were troubling. So there was an energy imbalance for them. Or the jewelry was given to you but reminds you of some kind of past negative energy. A very common example of this is a ring or a piece of jewelry from a past relationship that perhaps there was infidelity with. And so it reminds you of that past experience, carries low energy memories. So in those circumstances, then for sure we want to cleanse the jewelry. Okay, so there's a few various cleansing methods. Before we get to specific steps that I use to clean out jewelry, let's take a look at these methods that also work. These methods can be used as a refresher. After you do a cleansing and go through all the steps that we'll talk about today, you can do these various cleansing methods as a rejuvenating or a refreshing, aligning or a realignment you can think of, a reboot for your jewelry. Okay, so the sun and the moon, they are celestial lights. They are powerful influencers to human existence. And we know the moon itself controls the tides. So because the rays of both the sun and the moon are so highly charged, they are naturally very clearing and cleansing to your jewelry. Your jewelry receives a big boost or recharge from them. So, from time to time, simply set your jewelry out on a window ledge in the sun or moonlight where the stones or jewelry can soak up those energy rays. Let your jewelry reconnect with these powerful rays, this great celestial power of the sun and the moon, by just letting them lay and bask in the rays of them. All right, crystal sea salt is another wonderful way to recharge and keep your jewelry in alignment. If you're going to use this, you simply want to put your jewelry in a dry, coarse sea salt container of some kind for about a day, and this will clear the gemstones and the metal right up. Earthing is another process that can be used for cleansing jewelry. If you think about it for a moment, it just makes sense, right? Gemstones and metals, they come from the earth. So it makes the perfect sense to reconnect them with this space for an energy balancing. The earth, after all, bore them. Their vibrations and energy, the energy charge they hold, came from the earth. So as you bring your jewelry and stones back in contact with the earth, you may sense and feel a restoring of these deeper powers and vibrations within yourself. I like to use a soft little protective cloth bag to hold the jewelry. Then you want to find a piece of earth that just feels right and speaks to you in some way. Typically, this is a quiet, serene place and where there's not been a lot of people or activity. Then you just want to bury your bag in that space. Leave it there for a day to 2 days. Longer is not necessarily better for any reason. Sometimes we tend to think, well, I'll leave it here longer and that'll clean it even more. And you can let go of that thinking. 24 to 48 hours is just fine. If it stays a little bit longer, it's also just fine, but you really just need a day or two. All right, and voila, your energy is fully aligned with earth energies, bathed now by Mother Earth and her healing, and in alignment with the planet's energy field. All right, as some of you might expect, smudging with sage is a very powerful cleansing for your jewelry, just like it is for our homes. If you're going to smudge your jewelry, you want to set it out on a table out in the open where the airflow is good. Open windows a crack just a bit in the house or nearby. If you're feeling drawn to light a candle, please do. That's just fine. The earth element of fire is welcome and supports the cleansing as you're working with sage. All right, so first, cleanse and sage the space in the area around the jewelry. If you've got the jewelry set out on the kitchen table and the kitchen window is open a crack, walk throughout the kitchen and maybe even the surrounding rooms and sage the space in that area around the jewelry. Then smudge and cleanse the jewelry itself. Be sure your mind is clear and empty and only pure positive essence is present. Check in with yourself, as always, before you're doing something like this. Then you want to just hold and create circular motions with the sage in one hand, around and above the jewelry. Let the smoke completely envelop the jewelry for about a minute. Imagine the sage pouring pure positive energies and thought streams into the jewelry, while also releasing any of that lingering low energy. That low energy must release and go, no exceptions. And last, let's talk about your third eye, your clairvoyance, working in tandem with your breathing to clean out your jewelry. So, in a quiet, serene, peaceful place, ground yourself. You know the power of your breath and breathing. If you've been following the intuitive hour, I have a number of episodes on this very topic, so we're going to use that today. So you'll begin belly breathing in this quiet position, somewhat of a meditative space. And we're going to link with your third eye. So I want to ask you to visualize yourself belly breathing with a beautiful golden divine light. And it's emanating from your third eye chakra. That third eye chakra is right above your brow in the center of your forehead. So in tandem, we're going to belly breathe and go to that space in your third eye, visualizing yourself breathing golden divine light in through your third chakra and back out. As you do this, you hold your jewelry in your non-dominant hand. Your dominant hand is the hand you typically write with, so your non-dominant hand is the opposite. So you'll hold your jewelry, the bracelet, the ring, the necklace, in your non-dominant hand, and you'll hold it up in the third eye area, right near this very powerful chakra where we see clairvoyantly. And you want to breathe golden divine light from this third eye into the jewelry with an intention of clearing, lingering past residue and energies. And you'll do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. This is a quick and easy way to cleanse your jewelry from anywhere, as long as you're in a quiet place. So you've got a number of options here to sort of recharge and rejuvenate your jewelry. Let's talk a little bit about my specific steps in cleansing jewelry. And to begin, as you know, if you've worked with me or you're following the intuitive hour, you've heard me say time and time again to set an intention when you're doing intuitive work. Whatever your focus is, set an intention towards that. It's an absolute must-do, and this is no exception when it comes to cleansing our jewelry. So, having grounded, run energy, moved into the center of your head, stated your prayer, and even put up your protection rose, all of which are fundamental psychic tools you've learned here at the Intuitive Hour, you want to now ask a higher power to come forth and support you in clearing and energetically cleansing your jewelry. But we want to form this request with a specific intent. And by the way, if you're not familiar with grounding and running energy, moving into the center of your head, your prayer of protection and your protection rose, please revisit these episodes here at the Intuitive Hour. They're essential in this process. In terms of your intention, though, number 1, hold the jewelry in your non-dominant hand. State out loud your intention. And also, why do we hold jewelry in our non-dominant hand? And the reason is because the non-dominant hand is free of the highly charged energies the dominant hand is. Your dominant hand is typically the hand that you write with. You're using it all day. It's busy and it's full of action and it carries energy. Your non-dominant hand is quiet. We want to use that hand for this reason. So you're going to hold the jewelry in that non-dominant hand, and then you're going to state your intention. Remember, you're going to say it out loud. You might say something like, I intend the piece of jewelry that I'm holding release all low energies no longer serving it. May this piece be cleansed. May it be filled with new, pure, positive energies in alignment with me. That's an example. You will create your own intention, or perhaps you use this one. Either are fine. Let's talk about the steps of cleansing now, the second part of this process. Number 1, we want to clean the jewelry, as I mentioned earlier in the episode. That's important. We want to actually clean our jewelry with a traditional cleanser. You might take it to your jeweler if you feel drawn to do that. That works just fine. They have special machines and liquids that can clean your jewelry quite well. If not, you can get your own cleanser and just scrub and clean. Take a few minutes as you're in this intention you've created and just clean with love and care these important gemstones and jewelry. Think about positive energy. Think about releasing of lingering energies as you just take a few moments to do this. Next, you'll set your jewelry out on a tabletop. Also, you want to make sure you're doing one piece of jewelry at a time. You don't want to take 3 or 4 items at once. They all hold different kinds of energies, and there's different intention that you hold towards each. So one at a time, you'll just set each item on the tabletop. Next, and this is very important, you want to ground your jewelry. In the same way that we ground our body, we ground the jewelry. Again, if you're not familiar with this process, please revisit this episode here at the Intuitive Hour. Grounding is a simple process of putting out an energy cord for the jewelry, connecting it to the center of the earth, so that lingering energies have a place to go and release to. Really important step you don't want to miss. Take a good 5 minutes to set this up, to ground this jewelry and be in this intention space around grounding it. Next, we are going to smudge the jewelry. As you'll notice, my steps include several of the modalities mentioned earlier about doing a rejuvenation and a recharge for your jewelry. So we are incorporating smudging here. We talked about this process. Be aware that you don't need to get overly focused on the idea that every single nook and cranny of your jewelry when you're smudging or cleaning must be touched. Trust that as you clean, as the sage is in the air around the jewelry, as you are in that circular motion of running sage around the jewelry, know that that sage knows exactly where to go and will reach the jewelry in its own divine way. All right, so you'll take another few minutes to do the smudging process. Next, we're going to put the jewelry in the sunlight, just for a day. This allows deeper cleansing. This allows residue from the sage smoke to release. From here, once you have taken your jewelry out of the sun for a day or two, we're going to rinse them in an essential oil process. I like to take a cup or 2 of water and mix lemon essential oil, which is considered an intuitive or psychic cleanser, cypress essential oil, which is a purifying essential oil for surrounding energies. You might also try frankincense, which is very good for removing negative energy from the mind and body and even the area in our homes and around us, our environment. Take a drop or 2 of each of these essential oils in a cup or 2 of water and just allow your jewelry to sit and soak in that essential oil mixture for just a few minutes. Then we're going to use our moonlight, that celestial light again. This time, however, as you set your jewelry out in the moonlight, lay the jewelry on a bed of sea salt and then place it in the moonlight. Again, you can see I'm incorporating all of these modalities mentioned earlier as we do the initial deep cleanse. Most important in this process was step 3 of grounding. After a day or two in the moonlight, whatever feels right to you, you're ready to wear your jewelry. Now, be sure that you put your jewelry on after it's been cleaned. We need it in this cleaned and cleansed space to now bond with you. Think of this as an initial bonding moment or time with your jewelry right on the heels of cleaning it. It's ready to soak up you and your new, pure, positive essence and energy. So make sure that you make this link and bond. Don't go put it in a box or a jewelry box and store it. Put it on, hold it, wear it for at least a day. It is now yours. It's aligned with your pure positive essence. And all lingering energy from the previous owner has been released. All right, everyone, a fun episode. I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to meeting with you again next week.